up, Woodward. We are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up!
Y'all got Kool-Aid
I'm
hot.
fired up! But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener.
Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm. Because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
What up, though, people? Welcome to Wake Up Woodward. You know we had to have the bet this morning because Javy Baez got
Javy Town, come on! Yes, sir!
New hip Javy. Hey, I think everybody should go out there and get hip replacements. Look how this guy's a star. People keep saying he's back. This is a brand new Javy altogether, but it's Wake Up Woodward. Chat family, as always, you guys are the most important part of this thing, so go ahead and smash that like button. It's a victory show. It's good to see the Tigers really bounce back after that Rangers series and put up some runs, put up some hits. It's been electric to see the bats really go to work and pick this team up. But we got that dude Justin on the desk today for our brother Flannel Sam, the vet of the squad, vet of the network, and the other half of the Red Wings, Woodward Wings show. What up, though, man?
Hey, I'm doing great. The game was absolutely electric. Such a great time. And you know Tigers baseball is back because I just was in the gas station wearing my Tigers shirt, and this guy comes up to me like, how about them Tigers, baby? 10-9 against the Red Sox. Just some random guy at the gas station getting me dialed in the morning, and that definitely gave me a nice pep in my step because, man, that game was electric. What a freaking win, man. Detroit Tigers, Javy Baez, 2 home runs? Come on.
6 ribbies? Is there like some secret competition going on? Because it feels like in recent weeks we've heard multiple Detroit Tigers getting that 6 ribby mark. This is insane right now what they're able to do with these bats when that was obviously going to be one of the biggest question marks. What we saw the second half of last season, could that be something that was sustainable? And we know momentum, especially in baseball from season to season, don't count on it. This is just what these guys are going to do to go in and put the work in over the offseason and what the coaches are going to do to put them in their best position. And you're talking about a masterpiece right now between whatever A.J. Hinch has figured out, whatever the hitting coaches have figured out, and whatever these players have figured out. Everything is turning up 7-7-7 right now for the Tigers.
It really is. I mean, you're hitting the entire parlay. Anyone who you needed to be playing well is playing well. Even Jace Jung. Like, my man has been abysmal. Like, let's cut it out it is since he's been up here. But when we needed him in extra innings, a crucial base hit to keep the rally going.
You know what? Finish your point, but you did something. And I got to call you out for it. It's a good thing.
And I mean, that's what I'm talking about. When this team just continues to step up time after time. I mean, Jace Jung's a guy who's has a 300 OPS. You expect nothing from him, and he comes out, he delivers a great swing, gets the rally going, and props to him, man. But we got a lot to dive deep into this game. I mean, this game was back and forth, and
it was awesome, man.
It was absolutely epic.
And you know what? Obviously, today is Woodward Pistons Wednesday, so we're gonna talk to the legend Rod Beard for a couple segments. One on just Detroit sports, and then the other segment on those Pistons. A lot of people have their opinions on what the offseason strategy should be. But we got to talk about these Tigers some more, break this game down a little bit more, and get the chat involved too. So make sure you keep your eyes on the chat, family. Let's get their comments about how they're feeling, because I'm fired up right now. These Tigers have no intent, seemingly, of letting first place go. That's what made the Rangers series so weird, is just how well the bats have been going. And you know what? They're just showing that was just a little blip in the road. It happens. This is who we are. But we got to talk Lions and NFC North being disrespected again by some national media. And, JB, I'll send that graphic over to you. I saw another top 10 list via Fox Sports. And all these teams, there's not just the Lions. This is where we kumbaya with the rest of the NFC North. And I don't even want to do this. But they're saying, oh, no, the Lions are definitely going to win the North. But overall, And I'm seeing people putting them like 7th and below, and then the rest of the North, they're also discounting them as well. And I'm like, where did this just happen? Hasn't the North been showing it with multiple participants in the playoffs the last 2 years? But we'll get there, man. We'll talk about that. And then we also got to talk about these Pistons, because I was told JB Bickerstaff was the problem with the Cavaliers.
I love a good I was told moment, so I can't wait to hear from you about that. That's for sure.
Hey, just before we get back into those Tigers, I hear you over there. Woodward Sports MVP in the TD booth. This was the man who called it first. I didn't hear anybody, national or local, say JB Bickerstaff should be the Pistons coach before JB Smooth. I hear you over there with the laugh, man. What up, though? Is this vindication for you?
It's a little bit of vindication, and once we actually get to talk about this, I got a little video for you guys that I just want to play, and then a little bit of sneak peek at what's trending later on today. But I'm telling you right now, it's hilarious.
Hey, cook up, man. Cook up. And we also got Cavassier Chase over here in the sound booth holding it down. Get well soon, KG, man. Get well soon. We're definitely praying for you, brother. But what up, though, Cavassier? The energy of that Tigers game too.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Hope you guys are having a good day. Yeah, definitely. I was actually heading to bed around that time as the game was wrapping up, and then my phone started buzzing a lot, so kept me up a little later than expected. But it's always nice to come in and be able to talk about a win and celebrate, your highest paid player going out and putting on a performance for you.
You know it. That's so crazy, dog. Freaking Javy Baez and being able to talk about, hey, money well spent. Those jokes, you know what? And it's awesome to say right now, especially because it's almost like one of those Brad Holmes things. He will be a need when he's, right now he might not be that need, but at some point in time he will be, like with the J-Mo thing. And I don't know what they planned. I don't know what they saw. I don't understand the strategy behind it, but they figured out Javy Baez. And this thing is just, it's crazy because it's definitely a catalyst. It's definitely something that's contributing. But they got a whole lot of contributions. And somebody that you called out yesterday, I said you did a thing.
Yep,
you
I
was
did
like,
do a
man,
thing.
I don't mean to, rain on the parade of everybody being happy that we did BTA, the Red Sox of all teams. But Spencer Torkelson. And what did we see Spencer Torkelson do go out there? We saw him go out there and be a little bit more of what we saw him be in the beginning of the season. And that's what, a hit, which was a home run, and 2 walks last night, man. Spencer Torkelson looked a lot more about how you wanted him to be.
Oh, no doubt. And that home run he hit was extremely difficult pitch to hit. He drives it to the opposite field, still put enough bat on it, and it just goes out. So that was great to see. He was taking better at bats. There was a few times. Oh, damn, look at that. Hey, Javy Town. Come on. And the aura, just standing there, arms up, absolutely aura maxing. What more can you expect from the guy? When he is having this resurgence like this, he's got the other ankle too. This one's sick.
Golly, look at that.
Look at the catcher.
Look at the catcher.
Just
That's
walking off immediately.
He knew it.
Knows it. Oh, man. This guy absolutely deserves it. And I want to go back to Javy for a second because this man deserves the love for real. So we're talking about right now, he is on pace for one of the best seasons of his career, top 3 season in his career right now. He is fully back. And he just is making the right plays. Like last year, you saw him swinging out of shoes at sliders every single game. There was three times there were sliders on the other side of the zone yesterday that he did not swing. And he took a walk yesterday on top of his 2 home runs, which for him might be even more impressive, to be honest.
And I wonder, though, what makes this type of a change? Because he's just seeing everything so much better, and he just seems to be confident at the plate. And it's contributing well. Him's hitting 319 right now in the season, I believe, and going out there and putting up multiple home run game, going out there and being a factor as it relates to what was one of the difficulties in the early part of the season, especially in the Dodgers series, and we know it's the Dodgers, but it was how the Tigers were leaving a lot of runners on base.
Yep.
And now you see Javy Baez being somebody that if there are runners on the base pass, he's actually going out there and make sure to get these guys home. And that's what I like about Javy Baez. He's being impactful to the bottom line as it relates to these runs. When you look at the hits per game, when you look at the runs per game, especially over the last 20 games, and you look at the people who've contributed to that, Javy Baez has just been this consistent figure, and it is one of the great mysteries, people, because I can't figure this out, not from any aspect of strategy. Like, you can't tell me it's just hip surgery. So I do applaud Javy Baez from this standpoint. Staying consistent, blocking out all of the noise, continuing to work at his craft, and still going out there like there's something to play for. You know, because you think about when he was here, there wasn't much to play for in the beginning of this thing. And now this team has kind of blossomed, and he's had to stay the course. You don't get to this point, because I saw some people say, oh, he's just flipping the switch now because there's something to play for. I don't think so. Baseball, again, is a very fickle sport. I played it in high school. I know Broder played it in college. My pops played it in Detroit City leagues and such. So there is some familiarity with the game. And it's like when you get to these points of this type of consistency in baseball, it's generally because of the level of work you've put in, and then you've also figured out something mentally. And this coaching staff and this development staff, they have figured that out with several different players, which was what made me want to make sure I tipped the cap to Torque. But you are right with Javy Baez. He deserves everything right now because for several years he's been the guy we've been saying, like even sometimes before pay Tarek Skubal, spend the money to get Javy Baez out of town. And now it's to a point where Javy Baez is legitimately a person who, if you were talking about the All-Star game right now, he's going to be legitimately in that conversation.
Oh, yeah, and it's funny you said that because I was just about to go there. I am here to start the Javier Baez to start center field in the All-Star game campaign. I am here. Javier Baez leads the whole Major League Baseball for center fielders in OPS. The second leader in OPS is Pete Crow Armstrong at 852 OPS. He is a better defensive center fielder than Javy Baez, but he plays in the National League. Javier Baez, 870 OPS, and is playing positive defense in center field, and he's been a great defender out there during the absence of Parker Meadows. This man deserves to be a starter in the All-Star game. He continues to make big plays. He's having a resurgence of his season. He has the best hitting stats out of any center fielder, and he is playing good defense. I don't see even remotely another center fielder in the AL that could really take him. The next best one would be Byron Buxton, but Byron Buxton only is hitting with an 824 OPS. That isn't even remotely close to how good Javy Baez has been playing, and it's got to happen. Look at this man. Get this man in the All-Star game right now. He is deserving of it. He has done so much work to be back here, and he deserves his flowers and to be recognized as one of the best center fielders in Major League Baseball right now, and he is. Like, what do you want about it? The stats do not lie. He is one of the best center fielders in Major League Baseball right now. Straight up.
Weezy D313, I see you in the chat, man. He says it's hip and LASIK Kool-Aid. And he finally has a homeboy. Whatever it is, whatever they figured out, shout out to the Tigers. Because like I said again, it's not just him. It's this entire team. It's the young players stepping up. It's the players that are getting the money stepping up. It's the players that they drafted and had high hopes for stepping up. They're figuring out everything that the previous regime could not figure out, and they're getting it right. And shout out to them for being shrewd, for being, sticking to their guns, and knowing, or at least having some inkling that this thing could work out. I mean, you were playing with house money with Javy Baez in a capless league with an owner who, if you needed him to bite the bullet, he could. And you got a team that just made the playoffs. So you got a good thing brewing. So you were playing with house money for this team to go out there and get a whole lot more. That's where this thing gets interesting for the Tigers, because you're going to know this is one of the constant refrains. They still got some dogs that are going to come back, and this squad, there's going to be games where they do actually put it all together. Because, Riley Green, I would like to see a little bit more from him yesterday, and a couple other players, Dylan Dingler. Think about that. Some of the players that we were just glazing for the last couple days. They took the night off, and that happens in baseball. But look at this team. There's not very many holes in this lineup, because you know what I know? How stressful is each bat with a Riley Green, whether he's getting a hit or not. Then all of a sudden, who else is getting the hits? The batters right after them. And so, this whole entire lineup is now finding ways to put and keep pressure on the bats, and it starts by having no weak spots, which at once upon a time, Javy Baez was absolutely that. This thing is crazy. I'm like, I think the only thing left now is, does he even need I feel like he needs a new nickname.
I think he's just back to being El Mago. El Mago is back. He has the aura. He has the magic again. And he's showing it every time he's out there. And for the crowd that doesn't believe that Javy Baez deserves to be an all-star, he is tied for 16th in the entire league in WAR, which is tied for 8th technically if there wasn't
Isn't that
so
what
many.
a magician does? Is like he makes something disappear and then poof, he makes it reappear. That's part of the magic.
Yeah, this thing.
And he did it with his career.
absolutely
Part of the
crazy.
magic. He just made his career reappear.
That's why they call him El Mago.
Yeah,
Let me read some of these comments in the chat because this is just absolutely nothing but Javy love right now.
except
in
for
the chat.
Cartier. Cartier can't enjoy it.
Hey, what
I
did
don't know
Cartier
why.
say? You read Cartier's first, and then I'm gonna go into the rest of these.
Cartier, pipe down, you casual.
What?
That's what he said. And
Come
then,
on,
then he
man.
said, you Riley Green lovers love to see him trot around the bases. I mean, I do.
Hey,
I mean, that usually means he had a home run. So I'm
Shout
pretty
out to
happy about
Mike
that.
G as well too, sending all these messages in Spanish.
I know. I see,
yeah, Mike
I
G
see
is
that.
the
Mike
man.
G, shout
What a
out,
guy.
man.
El Mago is MVP.
Yeah.
El Nilo is Gringo. Loco.
Let's go, boy. And I see you. There's a couple people out here, man, who are just getting their Javy love off right now in the chat.
Yeah, show
Mike
them
G,
some love.
he says it is officially Javy Love Day. Jonathan Lord, hashtag All Star Javy. Let's go. Let me see here. Some more Javy love in here. You read the Xavier D one, right? El Mago
No,
MVP
no.
loading. Greg 2025 Javy Super Gatorade bath. I don't even understand how you write that script, man. To be in that moment and to come through that big.
Literally.
Everybody knew it. You saw the clip at the beginning instantly. The catcher was disgusted with himself, man. And Javy Baez took advantage of that complete meatball like I would if I was at Sparrows. I love those meatballs, by the way.
I love John
Pause.
F. and Lord. He goes, Javy, oi, oi, oi. Like Aussie.
That is funny. I like that. We should start doing that.
Yeah. And I told you guys, man, with this, I thought that this was a handle your business series. We understand the Tigers have first place mindset, and you got an opportunity to send the Red Sox back under 500, get back on track after you dropped the series against the Rangers that I thought that you had a good chance to win, but you faced some pretty dominant pitching. And it was a wake-up call. Now they've tweaked something, and these bats are right back to it. And I believe that they're going to have a good opportunity over the next several series to show the same. I don't see these bats really cooling down, and I don't consider a cool down a game or two off. I consider, that, hey, like you said yesterday with Torque, I want to see who he's going to be through the adversity. We see now what this team is going to be. We talked about let's get to that 40-game mark. Let's get to that 50-game mark. This is who the squad is right now. They're a team that they can walk in any night and shut you down pitching-wise, which we're going to talk about it a little bit more in the next segment because the pitching was interesting how they utilized 7 different pitchers to get this thing done.
Pitching chaos again.
15 strikeouts, but they gave up 14 hits and 9 runs as well. You called it what?
Pitching chaos. I mean, whatever
absolute
gets it
pitching
done,
chaos.
gets it done. At least this year you have the bats to really support pitching chaos, unlike last year where there was times where you kind of pitch your way out of games. Even when Montero came in and he was rocky a little bit, I mean, up 3 runs, he was able to push through that, and the bats were able to continue to bail him out and bring in runs. And even Bo Brisky and Canely letting up crucial home runs, they were able to get resurgences back by this Tigers offense that were really able to carry them to the victory. So it's a full team effort, and you're seeing it night in and night out. Everybody on this team is showing up and playing a part. I mean, there was only one player on the team who didn't get a hit from the starting lineup yesterday, and that was Dylan Dingler. So.
Yeah, and you guys already know I got full confidence in my godson Dylan Dingler. He's had a good season, and I'm excited. Like I said, for the young players, the old players, the people getting paid, the ones that we've drafted, this Tigers regime from top to bottom has found a way to get the most out of them. And we talked about there may be some regression that comes for some of these players, and it's okay because right now they're playing out of this world, and it's okay because of what we're seeing throughout the lineup. That's why. There are players that they have on the bench. There are players that they're waiting to get back from injury. There are players that they could call up. It's just out of nowhere. In just a couple years, they went from a team whose minor league system and depth was questionable to one that's like
One of the best in
one of the
baseball.
best in baseball.
Yep.
And I see a couple people in the chat before we get to this. Say hello to some friends and get to the next break, next segment. He says, Jonathan Anthony, the best part, Scooble's pitching tonight. We will get the sweep. I love the confidence, man. Well, friends, we got to say what up, though, to JB Smooth. And do we got any super chats?
No super chats at the moment, but we do got to say what up to Mad Packs.
Hey, boom,
I
shaka.
think that's Chase.
Oh yeah, Mad Packs. It's KG here. Let me tell you about Mad Packs coming to retailers to you May 2025, which out here now. It's Boom Shakalaka. Boom Shakalaka is the live resin infused pre-roll. THCA Moon Rocks. Hit like a blizzard. Go ahead, check out Mad Packs to coming to retailers near you. Mad Packs, Mad Flavor, Mad Loud, Mad Packs.
Mad Packs, Mad Packs.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
All right, sports fans, whether you're hitting the game or simply chilling at home, Jars Cannabis has you covered. Jars is home to Michigan's largest line of recreational cannabis products, 27 locations across the state, 9 alone in Metro Detroit. So wherever you go, there's always one close nearby you. But don't fear, because if you live in Grand Rapids, Madison Heights, or Milan, Michigan, stores are popping up your way very, very soon. If you don't have time to check out all their products in store, head over to jarscannabis.com or check them out on Instagram at jars_life, because you know what? I know you want to get high.
Welcome back. It is Javy Day here at Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you, chat family, for choosing to kick off the day and celebrate it with us here with the Woo Crew, man. Shout out to our brother Flannel Sam and KG. We miss you guys and cannot wait to get you back. Shout out to our brother Matthew Broder too, who I know if he was here, especially for what the Tigers are doing right now, would be absolutely on one right now. He was our baseball knower of baseball knowers on this show. Despite the fact that I know we still got some dogs that know this game, and the chat is fired up. Let's get that like poll going too, man. Let's see how many people liked Mr. Javy Baez and what he did for the Tigers last night. 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, and he called game 2. what a shot, man. What a moment. It was dope, all the different camera angles they had, and it was cool to see. And I saw somebody mention it as well, the post-game comments from AJ Hinch talking about how much this moment meant for Javy Baez. Whoever did that, definitely go back into the chat and put that in because I want to make sure I get you your credit. But I see Super Bowl Cartier in the chat saying this, Tigers got to be buyers, don't we?
Yes. I do think the Tigers do need to be buyers. I think that
when you add more conservative,
when you add Parker Meadows and Vierling and Perez back into this lineup, you have a crop of very nice hitters in this lineup. And I think if you are able to, and I know the relief pitching has been fantastic, okay, but you can never have enough high leverage relief pitching, especially in the playoffs. You saw that Canely can get nicked every once in a while with the home run that he let up. And you can see that Brisky hasn't found it yet. Brisky still has been struggling down the stretch, and that's a guy who last year you were able to give a lot of critical innings to, and right now he just doesn't have it. So, yes, I do think that buying another bullpen arm would be something that this team should explore. And maybe if the Casey Mize injury ends up lingering or he's not able to find that consistency, you bring in another pitcher. I don't think that's going to happen, but I think that a relief pitcher would be nice. And I think if you were to bring in just one more bat, just to make sure you have another explosive bat that can really change the game with one swing. I feel like we have a lot of guys who are hitting well, and I don't want to take that away from them, but we are still lacking some elite power. Like, we need one more guy that can change the game with one swing of the bat. Like, you're looking at some of the runs that teams have had over the last couple of years to win the World Series and some of the players that they've acquired at the deadline to do so. I look back at the Braves World Series when they brought in Jorge Soler to shore up the bottom half of their lineup, and he had some big home runs down the stretch as a right-handed power hitter. He's always available at this time. Jock Peterson won't be around this time around, but usually Jock Peterson is available, and he's a left-handed power hitter that you can add to this lineup. Someone like that where you can just add and plug and play when you need a big at-bat or you need the right matchup to go into a game against a starter, you can bring in one of those professional hitters, because you saw it in the Rangers series. The Rangers were able to dominate us with their pitching. We struggled. They had 3 aces go boom, boom, boom. That's how good their rotation is. They are probably the only rotation in the American League that can hold a candle to this Tigers rotation. And they outplayed us. They outpitched us the entire series, and it makes me have slight cause for pause that this lineup is exactly where it should be. I believe that if you were to insulate them and bring in another bat, like, that's what you're thinking, like, oh damn, like, there is no weakness. Like, they even go to their bench and they're still elite at the plate.
And that context from you, that perspective, is with the expectation of what for the Tigers? You do believe that they have the ability, if they kind of make some of these tweaks, to be able to reach the World Series? Or is it just ALCS if they add a bat and maybe shore up the pitching just a little bit?
That's what I'm saying. Are you okay with winning a couple playoff games, maybe a series or two? Is that what you want to do, or do you want to go win the World Series? Like, if you want to go win the World Series, why not go make a move for a bat and give up?
No more cute seasons.
Yeah, there's you're there. You've arrived. Like, this team isn't that team that's developing that you're looking at the prospects down in AAA and AA. You're like, oh, I can't wait for so-and-so to come up here and start making an impact. We have no one who can play center field. All right, we have Javy Baez playing center field, and he's doing a phenomenal job. We don't even have our starting center fielder out there, and we're still playing amazing. And that's what I'm saying. When you want to look at lineups in the MLB and you want to start comparing and you want to start looking at World Series caliber lineups, that Rangers offense is better through 1 through 9 than the Tigers. When they're hitting, they're cold right now, and they woke up a little bit in that series and showed you their quality. But if you look at just the names, they are a better lineup. That's where, and you want to compare to the Dodgers or the Yankees, they have thumpers 1 through 9 that will consistently make you pay with a big swing of the bat. That's where, for me, I'm starting to get to the point where, all right, how much are some of these prospects who are unproven at the major league level really worth when you can bring in a guy who can help this roster get to that next level, to the point where we're not talking about, oh yeah, this team could win the AL. We're talking about, all right, we're in the World Series now. Let's win this thing. Let's do the moves to get there and to win it. We are that close.
And it's not an indictment on what they already have. I do believe that the Detroit Tigers have already shown to be better than what a lot of us thought they would be to start the season, and we thought that was good enough to go out there and win the Central, especially with how strong the pitching was. We were just waiting to see what the bats were going to be on a consistent basis. And then we did think that going into the playoffs, they were going to have a little bit more help this year, especially when they got healthy, to be able to make that push to at least the ALCS. But what we're seeing right now is a team that is beating up on teams that other people in national media thought were going to finish above us, teams that other national media had to say, you know what, we looked through it. They're not just playing the White Sox. They're not just, feasting on the AL Central. They're going out there. They're beating really good teams and have a winning record against them as well. And they're doing it no matter where the park is. They will blast you at Comerica. While everyone else is crying about the dimensions, they will go and put 10 runs on you. Whew, man, almost said something. They go out there and put 10 runs on your tail. They will go into your own home and take over that stadium too. And that to me is where I am bullish that what they have right now, especially when they get healthy, is enough. I do believe that. But in terms of what you're saying and what you're seeing out of the squad, that's why I wanted you to at least state your expectation that you already believe this is a squad that's going to potentially take a step forward, maybe get to the ALCS as currently constructed. But we see something that if you just do maybe a couple minor things, is there no longer that squad where we're sitting here saying, bro, they need 2 bats. Goodness gracious, the bullpen fell apart, because you remember how the bullpen fell apart last season. We're not in that position where they had to go and be buyers at the trade deadline to a massive degree, and where people overreacted to even what they did do. Now they're at a point where if you do go out there and just get that one right bat, that one right piece, does that really put them over the top? Does that put them into the World Series? And I think that's really the biggest question. I want to know what the people have to say about it as well, because the Tigers, this is serious business. This is now this is no longer about, just be happy you got here, you're playing with house money. This is now a situation where once you've hit that jackpot in that lottery, you're feeling good about yourself. You don't want to just be kind of willy-nilly about it. You like drinking, at the fancy places now. You like eating at the high dining spots now. You like going to Sexy Steak. You like being at Prime and Proper. Shout out downtown Detroit, doing this thing. You like those things. You don't want to really just give those up. And so I get that. I get where you're at. You're like, you want to protect what we have. You want to shore it up, and you want to make sure that when we go into some of those games where we're going to be facing that dominant pitching, because what discombobulated us in some of these series losses, it's been that. It's been, oh, man, but they got the pitching. That can't keep being the excuse in some of these series losses, because it will cost us in these high-pressure stakes moments.
Yeah, and I see a lot of stuff in the chat about this isn't a good take. We have good players. We don't need to add. That's fine, but that's not the mentality that other teams around the MLB have. If you're not getting better, you're getting worse. And there's going to be teams at the trade deadline like the Dodgers, the Yankees. They're going to go out there and they're going to make moves no matter what. Even if it's not even a good move for the long term, they're good. I'm not asking you to go make a Yankees move that you trade all your entire farm system away just to compete this year. That's not what I'm asking for. I'm asking for you to just make sure that you continue to lay foundation and support the players that are on this team right now. Imagine if someone's slumping. Imagine Torque starts slumping a little bit, and you're able to protect him in a lineup with a guy like Jorge Soler, so that they can't be pitching around Torque and making him not take his good at-bats and his time at the plate. There are so many things that go into this. There is a difference between the big teams in the MLB that are willing to spend and us, and I understand that. The Dodgers, the Yankees are going to spend mercifully. They do not care what it does to their roster.
Let's see what the people think. I want to see what the people believe with this one, man. So let's get that new chat poll going, JB Smooth. Do the people believe right now it's currently constructed this is a team that can make it to the World Series? Because I do believe that. I am on that side. I completely understand your point. Because if you do give this team just a little bit more, you're talking about some dynamite. I am putting some stock into the fact that they're going to get some good players back here. And, my preseason prediction was 91 wins, so I did expect that the offense would be something that could go out there and give you 3 or 4 runs per game. It's awesome to see them over the last 20 games giving you 6+ runs per game and mashing out like 8, 9, 10 hits per game. That's consistent, really good offense across the board. And so for me, it's almost like the Lions. I do believe that the Lions are a team that can make it to the Super Bowl, just like I do believe the Tigers are a team that can make it to the World Series. But if you give them an edge, if you give the Tigers a bat, well, now you're talking about giving them a little bit more gravy. just to kind of put it in better context for me. And I saw a couple of the other some funny takes here in the chat.
Hey, shout out my fellow Justin. He's picking up when I'm putting it down. Making it to the World Series, yes. To win it, the Tigers need to buy. Thank you. You understand. Like
you want it all.
Like we are at the point where you could be a serious World Series contender. Like right now, like you're even Vegas, shout out to your sports book, isn't putting the respect on your name. All the teams like the Rangers, even the Red Sox had the same odds as you to win the World Series. Like they still haven't put that respect on the Tigers yet. And you want to start seeing that respect and start really seeing the national media like falling in love with this team. Like, damn, this team could win a World Series, because you haven't seen a national media member say that this team can win a World Series yet. I am almost positive, and that's because they look at this lineup and they see the numbers, and there's not a lot of players who are real like household names on this team, and that doesn't matter.
You're right. They're when you look at the articles, when you listen to what they're saying, they are saying, hey, they're a real squad. They are beating real teams, but you almost get the sentiment that they still put them at the little kids' table. And that's where my analogy came from as it relates to, well, you know, they force people to pay attention to them because they barged in and they're sitting at the big boys' table at the nice restaurant. But I don't know how many people believe that they're going to stay there. I do believe, as currently constructed, they're going to stay there. But when you're talking about winning this entire thing, that's where you have to make a decision pretty soon with a trade deadline that's going to be approaching, and you're going to have other teams that are going to also look to make themselves better. It's not like these other squads are sitting back looking at the Tigers, because when they open up the apps, when they open up everything and they're looking at the standings, they're looking up at the Tigers right now. They're not just sitting back and saying, let's not get better. They're going to go out there and do things to shore up, and I do believe that, you know, your take is not – I understand your take. Like, I'm going to say it again. But this squad, I don't know. They get hot at the right time, they're going to be good to go. And I see some people in the chat here who do believe that they may need just a little bit more as it relates to potentially another arm rather than a bat. I see John Mayer says Veerling coming back will help. And that's what I'm talking about. I do believe in, you know, getting back a Parker Meadows, getting back, you know, your Matt Veerlings, and those players being able to be that extra dynamite to this lineup.
Yeah, I agree, and they are dynamite, but they're not the dynamite I'm looking for. I'm looking for to win a World Series. You need guys who can change the game with one swing of the bat. Like you look at these World Series, and every single time there's a certain home run that completely changes the momentum of the series. And that's something that this team has some power threats, but they're not even elite power threats. And when you don't have elite power threats, you need a lot of power threats. And that's what you need to do. You need to be able to supplement your roster to be able to have enough power to make those big swings when you need them. And that's something that we were missing last year when the Guardians needed a home run. They had Fry step up and hit a bomb off Terry Skubal to win them the series.
Jeez.
That's what you need. You need guys that are willing to step up like that time after time and series after series. That's how you win the World Series. And you saw Stanton come out and hit multiple home runs in their ALCS last year to put them in the World Series. Like, that's what you need. You need guys who can step up, and it's not just your best guys. Like you often hear about the unsung heroes when it comes to World Series. You know, Eddie Rosario with the Braves comes out of nowhere, hits 600 in a World Series, wins a World Series MVP for them. And that's what you need. You need guys like that. And there are guys on this roster who are capable of it, especially guys like, I mean, now we got Javy Baez hitting 9th in the lineup, and he's a playoff performer. Like, I expect him, if he's able to keep this up and stay consistent, that he's going to be a big playoff performer. But you need guys who can change the game with one swing of the bat, and that's what you're missing on this team right now.
That's the conundrum, man. That is the conundrum right now. I like the fact that we actually wind up on kind of opposite sides of this thing. And I see Greg 2025 who brings up this case too. He says he doesn't even know who to trade, if anyone, because we are. You know how we do with our athletes here, with our pro athletes. Especially.
I know.
We fall in love with them, and now that they're all kind of percolating, when you look at the roster, it's like, what do you do to try and improve that roster from your standpoint? Who is it that you're saying, you know what, this player here is expendable? Because they've all contributed to what we see right now. It's crazy because all of our squads are to that point. The Lions decided we're just going to continue to take care of our guys in-house. We're going to bet on the internal growth, and then we're going to augment around that. The Detroit Pistons, they face the same thing. Yeah. And then we see the Tigers right here with, I think, their most pivotal – this is their most pivotal trade deadline in a very long time, because this squad is proving that they are for real. And I think it was Crazy Clown who said, one small step, though, and this team could be looking up in the standings. And you're right, because the Guardians, for as much as we see the Tigers going out there and BTAing and going out there and putting up a nice stretch of games, the Guardians are still just every day I look at these things, and every week the Guardians are still just 2.5 games behind, which means they're keeping pace. The Yankees, they did lose a game behind last night, so they did fall to 3.5, and that's in the overall AL. But I do believe this Tigers team is a first-place team, and you're going to find them for the majority of the season at the top of these standings. And then when you do get those other players back, I really do that they are going to be dope. I see Randall Smalls, he says, Vierling and Meadows are coming back. And that, to me, I don't know if I'm putting too much faith into who they're going to be. But there's some people who believe that it also may be you and your taking a shot at Javy Baez and Torque, and you believing that they're not going to be able to keep up the consistency.
No, it's definitely not believing in the consistency. It's the fact that you don't have enough power bats when you're facing a left-handed pitcher. And I think that people are forgetting the fact that Carey still doesn't play against left-handed pitching, and that's an issue. Riley Green is not hitting well against lefties this year, especially for power. Most of his home runs this year have been off right-handed pitching. Eight of his 9 have been off right-handed pitching. You have an issue hitting left-handed pitching. It's not a shot at all. And yeah, Javy Baez and Torque have been a big part of the reason why you've been able to be so successful off left-handed pitching this year. But that's 2 guys. That's not enough to win you a playoff series. So I want another right-handed power bat. And I don't think that's too far of a stretch to ask for because of the fact that Vierling's not a power bat. Vierling's going to come in. He's going to be a solid double singles guy. He's going to have a high average. His OPS is going to be, around 700. He's going to be, an average MLB hitter. I don't want another average MLB hitter. I want someone who's going to come up in the biggest moment of the game and hit a home run like Javy Baez did last night. I want another one because you need multiple. Like when you're talking about a lineup that you are fearful of 1 through 9 every single game. So if we have a lefty on the mound, are you scared of Kerry Carpenter against a left-handed pitcher? Not really. Are you scared of Riley Green against a left-handed pitcher? Right now, I'm not. 200 average, 1 home run on the year against left-handed pitching. I'm not scared of that either. This is why you need another right-handed bat to be able to give A.J. Hinch that other chess piece to be able to make the correct moves at the right time during the game so that you can make them successful and have them be in the potential to win a World Series.
And I see Randall Smalls, $10 super chat. And as always, it's great to see you in the chat, Randall. And shout out to Phil as well. I saw you say good morning to us this morning. Good morning to you too, brother. And a lot of the other OGs that are in the chat, Mike G, Weezy D, Zuper, and Chuckle Cheese, Gromit. I see you guys. But Randall says nothing is off the table. Clark and McGonigal will be up after the All-Star break. Because I asked, what do you have if you want to be able to go out there and be buyers? Because you know how we are. We will fall in love with these players who have meant so much to when you look at the standing. It's not just who they are in the AL Central. It's not just who the Tigers are in the AL. You look at the overall league, everybody, AL and NL, who's at the top of this thing right now, your Detroit Tigers. And that's where it gets tough, man. This is where you hope that who Scott Harris is, what the all of the reputation of who he's supposed to be. This is where everything you pay him and why you bring him in, it's for this moment right now. He has to get this right. Whether it is parting with some of these players or whether the right decision is more in line with mine, you probably have enough, just get healthy. This is why you have a Scott Harris right now. And what I hope is this. What we saw out of Alex Bregman, and I'm so glad Tigers fans booed the mess out of him, but what we saw out of the Tigers and their approach at Bregman shows me that Chris Ilitch was willing to play ball, period. I would assume that Harris and A.J. Hinch understood the type of deal that Bregman was going to be looking for, and ultimately Chris Ilitch is going to make a decision. I don't want to do it this way. I don't want to do it that way. And I get that. Put your team in a good position because he's been the only one saying we have enough. While we were laughing at him, we were calling him different types of names.
Oh, yeah.
And now all of a sudden he has the ability. He said, no, we have enough to make the playoffs. We laughed at that. And they made the playoffs. And they didn't just make the playoffs. They actually pushed the Guardians to 7 games. Could have made the ALCS. And we had Scooble on the mound. But so this is where I'm hoping at this trade deadline that with the pattern of seeing he was willing to spend the money with Bregman, no matter what the deal is, if you believe that it is a deal that is a World Series type winning deal, that Chris Hill is just willing to go and do the darn thing. We see this thing with some of the other owners as our teams are moving into really a space we haven't seen before, where all of them have good playoff aspirations, moving towards championship aspirations. And I'm hoping that Chris Ilitch, he chooses to be the biggest reason why the Tigers team pushing all the chips.
Yes, I agree, and I just add a little more validity to my point on why we should buy 2023 Jorge Soler, who is exactly who I want to trade for. He is on the Angels right now with 715 OPS, 6 home runs. He's having a solid season. He's one of their best hitters, and he was traded for a guy who has a career 5 ERA, and he's 27. So, I mean, he was traded for nothing.
You got a hypothetical trade?
A hypothetical trade, I bet you we could get him for Kyler Montero or Matt Manning. I don't think it's going to take a lot. I seriously don't. Any one of our young pitchers who have any type of potential that we don't think are going to be good enough to make this team, I think you could trade any of them to get Jorge Soler. And I don't think people are forgetting how uneven baseball trades can be, because of the fact that a lot of the times you're going to have to get rid of them for nothing. There are so many trades that you can make and give up no-name prospects that you'll never even see. And that's the issue, that no one wants to get rid of prospects that you may or may not see in your life. Who cares? When you can make a move like this and bring in another right-handed bat that's a power bat that can really help this lineup, then I don't know why we're even talking about it.
Then let me read a couple of these comments real quick.
If you read Herb Nash's, I have an answer for it.
All right, let me see. I see IT Hips. The Dan Dickerson call last night on Javy's last home run might have been the best.
It was elite.
Ever. It was a classic. It absolutely was. And I see you all day. He says this: I've seen enough power in the lineup. Carp, green, torque. But if you can make a move that doesn't strip your minor league, I am down for it. All day, I'm probably more in that camp. If you can kind of do this thing strategically, which we've seen Harris have the chops to do, I am for that. But Nasty, I see you, brother. He says we need to bring a bat in or move bats up from AAA that are hot. So he's a little bit more in line with you, because I do get it. That Dodgers series at the beginning of the season, it left a little bit to be desired, but we all said, hey, let's let the bats get hot. But in the series where we've seen them lose, and there's even been some series that we've seen them win, we've noticed this. Depending on the type of pitchers, depending on what they can run out there, it can become a struggle fest. And we do got the dogs to, in a series, load up the pitching. But we also thought that with the Guardians too, and we saw how that wound up.
Yep.
And so I get it. How many times do we have the opportunity against the Guardians to make the big hit? They had opportunities, and that's where it's just like, golly, Justin, I don't know if I'm ready to move completely off my position yet. But there's a whole lot more validity, and that's why I'm glad to see the chat and kind of it being a little bit more split than prior, man. First, people were like, it's a little bit bad, but now they're saying, you know what? I want to see some bats. I want to see this. I want to see that.
Yeah, and where I'm coming from is the fact that you're gonna have to match the Dodgers 1 through 9 power wise. They have 4 guys who are above 8 home runs right now, and you have 3. And if you just want to compare the names, it's Shohei Ohtani, Teoscar Hernandez, and Freddie Freeman. And I'm sorry, I love our players so much, but I'm not in the business of trying to tell you that Spencer Torkelson, Riley Green, and Kerry Carpenter can lay a candle up to those 3. They still have so much room to go to get to that level. We're talking about Freddie Freeman and Shohei Ohtani, 2 top 5 hitters in the entire MLB consensus. I don't think you could go to almost anyone who watches MLB on a consistent basis who will say that Freddie Freeman isn't one of the best pure hitters in the game and Shohei Ohtani isn't one of the best power hitters in the game.
And I get it, man, especially with your perspective, because I often have to take a step back sometimes and realize the perspective. This is like the first time really in your adult, in your high school and middle school, like sporting fandom life, bro, where these teams are this close. And so I get it. For me, I didn't know what it was, man, when it was all coming together. But I realized we had some good runs out of the Pistons, the Tigers, and the Red Wings, kind of at the same time. But what we're seeing right now, this is where I'm looking at people like you, and I'm like, okay, I get it. You really want to see this team do something they haven't done since '84. And if you got that squad that you think can get this thing done, Why not go out there and augment this? This is where Harris and Chris Illich are going to have to be in their bag. They're going to have to move meticulously because what we thought they needed last year to just get to the playoffs and give themselves an opportunity, to go a round or two. You know what? They made that meticulous move. They bucked the trend of what all of us wanted to do. And so I'm hoping that they have that in mind this trade deadline too. And I see Randall Smalls with another $5 super chat. He says, our pitching will beat the Dodgers. Pitching always beats hitting. And we got to get to this next segment.
Not always, but one more comment. Yeah. L, I'd rather not have a bunch of big name players like that. Names don't win World Series, teams do. Well, I mean, the Dodgers have won the World Series the last 2 years. So I don't know. I don't know what you want from me.
And if we're going to win it, we're going up against a team that handled us pretty well, and they made our lineup look pretty pedestrian. I would love to have seen that matchup right now while we see the Tigers bats absolutely going. But I would. I don't know, man. I'm bullish on these Tigers. But you know what? Let's get to this next break because there is a little bit of breaking news.
Yes,
per Jordan Schultz, we have the first opponent for the Detroit Lions.
Yes, sir.
So it's time to TLB. You want to tell the people what that is?
Talk Lions, bitch.
Hey, word to our brother Matthew Broder, man. I can't wait, man. I'm getting a little bit pumped up here because right off the bat, we're going to understand. We're going to be able to put a little bit of that NFC North crown on our heads. I already know that. I'm calling that one a dub right now. Chase, Cavassier, Chase style. That's a dub. All right, well, what friends do we got to say what up, though, to?
I got to tell them about merch, but first I got to shout out Dante151 for sending in a $4.99 super chat from earlier. I didn't get to read. He said Kansas City Chiefs versus Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving, 4:30 on CBS. Flannel Sam must be extremely excited to be able to watch his two teams in one day. Flannel shot right there. But
shout out our brother Flannel.
Shout out, man. Flannel. Let me tell you about some merch that we got.
Hold on, because I know we're going on to the Lions, but I want the chat family, because you said something important earlier in the show. That dude, Justin. Hey, get your apologies to Javy Baez. One Mr. Javy Baez into the chat, man. Make it funny. And I'm going to read the funniest ones, but I'm serious. Put some thought into this thing, because the best ones, I think we might clip those and put those out there in socials. Do not let us down, chat family, because we say that y'all are the best. So go ahead and get those apologies into the chat to Javy Baez, and we will read the best. And maybe we'll put some merch on it, man. Tell the people about that merch, JB Smooth.
Oh, yeah, I got you. Head over to woodwardsports.com, click on that shop tab. New designs for you every single week. Hey, we might have some Javy merch up there for you coming soon. Who knows? But
Javy merch.
Yeah, see, Javy merch. Everybody wants it. But get yourself some Woodward Tigers gear while you're there, and head down to Comerica Park and rep those Woodward Tigers, those gritty Tigs, as much as you can. And you can't forget about those LFG Red Wings t-shirts and hoodies still available for you right now in the Woodward shops. Head over to woodwardsports.com. Just click on that shop tab.
Hey, Tony, what's up, bro?
Same circus, different clowns.
For sure. You want the usual, the big zip?
You know me too well.
I threw a little something extra in there for your ma.
Oh,
Hope
man.
she's doing all right.
Ay, guy, sei un santo. You're a saint.
All right, buddy. We'll see you next time, okay?
Grazie.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Planet Fitness. We are live at the Planet Fitness studios, and I mean, what more do you want? This is fitness that fits your budget no matter where you are. There's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. At Planet Fitness, you will experience a squeaky clean gym with lots of equipment, friendly and knowledgeable staff, and a totally judgment-free atmosphere. Did you know that all Planet Fitness memberships include fitness training for no extra cost? That's right. Want all the perks? Upgrade to the PF Black Card and use all the amenities such as unlimited use of the Black Card Spa featuring hydro massages, massage chairs, and total body enhancement, and more than 2,500 locations worldwide and ultimate guest privileges. For more information or to join today, visit your Planet Fitness or www.planetfitness.com.
Hey, what up, though, people? Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward. And you know what, man? We always do this with KG, but we're going to have to still do this today because we haven't really satisfied that like button. So let's see, man. We're going to put Cavassier Chase, and we're going to see if that dude Justin's going to join in as well.
I'll let Justin take it over.
Let's go, Justin. Let's satisfy that like button, man. Hey!
Let that beat take over. Hey, make sure you slither your finger down there and tap that like button for us. We appreciate all the support.
Hit it like
and do it right for us because we love it.
Hey, let's get those likes up. And I see the chat here as well. Are the Tigers good enough to win the World Series as currently constructed? 69% of you people are saying yes. That's a surprise to me. I thought it was going to be more people along the lines of they need to buy. And you know what? We're going to preempt a little bit. We're going to get to those Lions. But we do have the legend Rod Beard on the line right now. And I want to be able to bring him on so you can ask him that sports question as well. Obviously, previously sports editor-in-chief at the Detroit News. And has been giving us our time and has helped so many people in their media journeys and careers, not just here, but at the Detroit News. And now he is senior sports editor at the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Legend Rod Beard. What up, though, brother?
Happy Wednesday to you. Happy Wednesday.
Hey, you know what? That dude, Justin, I want to be able to give him the platform to be able to ask this question because we got this poll going on right now about the Tigers being good enough to win the World Series as currently constructed. I think that they have the opportunity to get there and make some noise. But, Justin, you want to be able to present your point?
Yes. Rod, I just made a point about the fact that the Tigers need to add either another relief pitcher just to make sure we firm up that bullpen or another right-handed bat to be able to make sure that the Kerry Carpenter not being in the lineup consistency doesn't affect us come playoff time when we need those power swings and those swings to change the game with one swing of the bat. So my question to you is, do you think the Tigers should be buyers when it comes to the deadline, or do you think that this team is enough to make the World Series and win the World Series as constructed?
I think you just got an unplanned right-handed hitter in Javy Baez that nobody counted on getting anything from. So you've effectively made a trade, and he's a center fielder somehow. So, I mean, go crazy. But no, I agree with you. It's just like we talked about with the Lions at the deadline last year. Go get more than enough stuff. Don't feel like you have it and this roster is good enough because you know how injuries are throughout the season. So, yes, go get a bullpen arm. Go get another bat. I think they're okay in the rotation. And they have guys who can step in if that's the need at some point, too. But absolutely, I think they're fit for a playoff run. But if you want to win a World Series, you got to make sure you have enough stuff, and you can never have enough bats.
Goodness, you know what? And that's goodness, Rod. I've been sitting back.
Vindication, come on.
I think they got enough, but you're right. It's almost the same conversation with the Lions in terms of that edge and being able to sprinkle just a little bit more on a squad that was 15-2 and they weren't even healthy. They're going to get healthy, but how much more do you need and how much more do you want to be able to go out there and make sure you punch that ticket? We saw how nasty the Eagles looked, and I do get it. We ran up against a squad that in the Guardians that made the big hits when we couldn't make the big hits. And that's where I understand it. And the series that we've seen the Tigers lose have been very, very similar. So it's like, goodness gracious, you guys are really starting to sway me on this thing. But we got to talk about the Lions, Rod, because we had a little bit of breaking news here. JB Smooth, do you have that graphic? If you do, or at least the news on the season opener. Hey, tell the people what's going on right now.
So our season opener, our Detroit Lions, will be headed to Green Bay and Lambeau, facing the Green Bay Packers on CBS September 7th at I believe it's a 4:30 game.
Wow.
What did they do to deserve this one game?
What did they do? Dub. Absolutely. I'm already calling this one a dub, and it was interesting because I wonder how much these players knew what was going on, because Kirby Joseph was on with
they knew
with Rich Eisen. He was like, you know what? I just want to get all the cold games out the way first. And so to know that they go to Lambeau at the beginning of the season rather than the House of Horrors that it's been in years past at the end of the season, get it out the way right now. It's not going to be a frozen tundra. This bodes very, very, very well for the Lions, and I can't wait to see the rest. How everything else lays for them. But as many of those outdoor games, cold weather cities that you can front load, I am all for it, man. But Rod, your instant reaction to it, I already heard it was a dub, but just a little bit more on your thoughts on this thing.
No, it's a dub, and you want to get divisional games when you're at your strongest, and so I think that's a piece of it too. The only concern that I could possibly have would be you're starting the year with your new coordinators, and you don't have everything on wax just yet that you want to do. So the first one out the shooter is an important divisional game that you need to win. If it was the second game, I'd feel a little bit better, but no, it's still a dub either way.
Yeah, it is definitely still a dub. It's going to be interesting to see how Lions fans show up and show out.
Lions fans.
Yeah, absolutely. But, Rod, there was this other thing, and I'm gonna ask you just briefly because I sent the graphic over to JB Smooth. But, JB, just briefly, you are the voice of reason here, too. I want to make sure we give you a little platform. Lions-Packers, week 1. Going to Lambeau. This is a place now that, at least in this Martha and Brad and Sheila era, we've seen them absolutely own the Packers in their own home. Not just on the field, but fans show up and show out too. JB?
Oh, the graphic?
No, I was getting your take on it as well, man. Just your initial reaction on Packers and Lions in Lambeau.
I mean, Packers, Lions in Lambeau. Like I said, TA posted on his X account, like, hey, just wait till you guys see who we play first tomorrow. He's excited about it. Obviously, the whole team's ready to go. I mean, even KG, who's not here with us, Kelvin Shepard, also put out there that, you know what, can the season just start? Can the season just start tomorrow?
Yep.
He's ready to go. They're fired up for this. Like, the only people who should be concerned is Green Bay and Jordan Love right now. They should be scared. Very, very scared.
Absolutely. And you know what, Rob? This, JB, if you got that graphic, you definitely throw it up there now because, Rod, across national media, there seems to be this regression with the Detroit Lions being one of those teams, one of those top 5, top 6, top 7 teams. If you want to put them behind the Eagles, I understand. But they are starting to drop this team into a space that it shows they don't really believe in what their offseason plan was, what their draft was, and that they believe they're going to get wound up, passed up in their own division. I've heard from Good Morning Football to now Fox Sports is putting out their top 10 rankings of their teams. This is after the draft. This is after free agency and whatnot. And they all have this kind of, they're going to be contenders in their own division. But when you start talking about the top teams in the NFC, the top teams in the league, they continue to put the Lions somewhere between the 7 and 10 spot. And it just feels like absolute disrespect. What is going on here? Because this isn't a situation where you're an upstart. This isn't a situation where you're sneaking up on anybody. This isn't a situation where it's like last year's letdown was because you just got beat. No, you literally lost everybody. You're getting some of these people back. I thought that they've had a kind of a nip-tuck off season that's really going to pay some dividends for a squad that relies on next man up mentality, that relies on depth. And I was like, man, I don't really want to get worked up about this stuff because we already know what the Lions are, who they are, and what they're going to be. We understand at this point in the season, you got to do something to generate some clicks and some talking points and such. But this being kind of a consistent narrative, I'm used to hearing it from like Greeny. I expect to hear it from certain people, but it just seems now that a lot of the national people believe that window might be closing a little bit on those Lions, Rod.
I got 4 words for you. Cade Cunningham, number 79. Like, okay, yeah, whatever. It's the off season. Holler at me in week 2 or week 3 when we know a little bit more. I mean, whatever, man. Just number 9, for real.
And to get into the football of it all, when you do look at these teams, to be fair, the Rams did make some improvements. They did some things this offseason to try and shore stuff up. But I still see the Detroit Lions as one of those solid top 5 teams. I do not believe, and I will say this firmly, and I know that we always have some type of Commanders fans lurking somewhere in the woods. You guys are not better than the Lions. You're not better than the Lions. Listen, you got a dub in the playoffs, and we tip the cap to you, and we see the improvement. But we were saying this for most of the season. I understand where you started with your ranking, and it made a little bit of sense. But the team refused to go that route. There was a lot that I thought they did right, including being open about saying, hey, we're looking at what the Lions did right in their front office, and they revamped their front office. And then they went and took a specific approach to get leaders, natural-born leaders, including our guy, Mikey like Nike Sanders still. And they went out there, and they pushed the envelope a little bit. But I'm not scared of the Commanders. I don't know. I get this aspect of paying them their due, but the Detroit Lions were hobbled. The Detroit Lions gave them from their top 5 MVP candidate 4 extra opportunities. And so for me personally, I want to be able to ask you too, Rod, do you believe that these Detroit Lions are still as formidable and in that should be in that top 5 of teams in the NFL right now?
Nope. Anybody who believes that losing the coordinators makes a big difference. What tells me it's not even the Lions. It's the fact that the Chiefs are number 4 that just tells me that I need to pay attention to this. We've already given this more time than it deserves. That the Chiefs are like, even if you say the Commanders are good, are the Commanders better than the Chiefs? No, come on, man. Let's no. We're not doing this today.
What up, don't that do, Justin? Because the Lions, this is a season in which we're all saying that Super Bowl window is still wide open. There's a lot of people who believe that they're about to get passed by some of these upstarts, and we saw this already, especially with C.J. Stroud and the Texans last year. I don't think people understand the DNA of this team and what Dan Campbell has continued to do throughout the course of this window for the Detroit Lions. And as long as you have him, this is what I heard Brandon Graham say of the Eagles as well. He said, as long as you still have Dan Campbell there and those dogs that they've drafted, so that's also homage to Brad Holmes, my bald brother, that to me is what ultimately matters to the success of this team.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that you're going to have to get some contributions from your rookies, but for the most part, the injuries are enough where I feel like we're just not going to get passed by a lot of these teams. I think that, the fact that the Vikings are above us with a rookie quarterback, I don't understand that. Like, I get it. J.J. McCarthy had a year that he's been recovering and technically been in the Vikings building, but he still hasn't proven anything, so there's no reason why the Vikings should be above us. But I do see why national media would be given that idea because of the fact that the NFC North, everyone was trying to upgrade over the offseason to try to get to where the Lions are, but I still don't think it was enough.
It's insane because you got in both backfields, Rob, we continue to say this, the best tandems. You have the best safety tandems in your defensive backfield. You have the best running back tandem in your offensive backfield. Those are your bookends. And then you can talk about a whole lot of the players that you could just trip over. And we forget some. Do you know how many times we sat here, Rod, and said, oh, Sam Laporta exists? Like, we just go through these notions. And that's where, when I see these things, I just can't wait for this season because I do believe the Detroit Lions, better than they did last year, are actually going to hit the ground running on offense this season. And a lot of that I do believe is going to have to do with John Morton, who Dan Campbell said was one of the constructors of this offense. And that is something that I do believe. When you talk about taking this back to the first game of the season, which was just announced, and we talk about, how this team is going to be, because you expect some new terminology, you expect some different wrinkles, you expect some different play calling styles out of a guy like John Morton and out of Hank Fraley, who they say is going to be very, very involved in the play calling. Now the offensive line coach as well as the run game coordinator, I do believe that this is going to be an offense that has a better chance to actually get off the ground running at the start of the season and look more like the well-oiled machine that they were in week 5 and 6 of last season, right?
Yeah, it's just going to be the start of the season, and that sets the whole tone of everything. And we're seeing that with the Tigers now and the Lions from last season, and to a degree where the Pistons were last year that they had to rally. If you have a good enough start to your season, it makes everything so much easier, and you can be more efficient with the rest of your day. Or rest of your season. So I think that's the important piece here, is getting off to a good start. You started with a division win, and you can control the rest of the way your season goes.
Yeah, definitely. And so, hey, look, I want to say what up, though, to some friends and then get back, because we do have to talk about the Pistons. There's a lot of noise going on amongst the social media, Pistons, Twitter, and whatnot, from everything of JB Bickerstaff. I think sweet vindication, all the way to what we see with the offseason expectations. To splash or not to splash, Rod? That is the question for the offseason. But who should we say what up, though, to? JB Smooth?
We got to hear from Loom.
Loom it up, one Cavassier Chase. Hotbox in the sound booth over there.
Loom. You already know Loom Cannabis Company, but did you know they've got all the brands you love now for less? With unbeatable prices, a wider selection, and the best loyalty program, Loom is the premier destination for new and experienced shoppers alike. Experience Michigan's #1 recreational dispensary at one of their 38 locations across the state and use code WSN30 for 30% off your entire order, online or in store. Go to www.loom.com today.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports. Scan that QR code on your screen. Use code word Woodward1000. Deposit up to $1,000. But all you have to do is place a minimum of a $20 bet. And if it doesn't hit, Caesars is so cool, they will put it right back into your account. Hey, you know what? If you bet on the Tigers yesterday, guess what? You're up money right now. You've got positive money in the bank. So double down on that at Caesar Sportsbook today on the Tigers. Scan that QR code. Use code word Woodward1000 and make some money tonight.
Make some money. Hey, we back with another segment with the legend Rod Beard. Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you, chat family, for choosing to kick off this day with the Woo Crew, and then smashing that like button on Javy Love Day. The Detroit Tigers to get another big victory over the Boston Red Sox, and that one was the series winner. Now they have an opportunity to actually sweep the series against the Red Sox with one Tarek Skubal on the mound, who's been absolutely dominant this year. Absolutely dominant. Looks like he's in line again to win another AL Cy Young, which we will probably talk about tomorrow because he showed up on the early list already, early voting, early list of as AL Cy Young. I think it's his award to lose. They showed the top 5, and our Detroit Tigers ace is at the top of that list. So shout out to the Tigers. Shout out to Javy. Smash that like button if you haven't gotten the opportunity to for the Tigers victory. But we're going to get into a little bit of this Detroit Pistons talk, and I want to be able to kick things off with Rod's thoughts. We got this offseason ahead, and we do have some Swisher Brick questions planned too. But that question is to splash or not to splash, Rod. And maybe some of your Swisher Brick questions will be answered with Rod's thoughts. But I'm really looking forward to just what the temperature is for the Detroit Pistons, the outlook from your vantage point.
No, I think it's a positive outlook, and you can look at, I think we talked last time about the Lakers are out, the Clippers were out early, the Celtics look like they're going to be out, all the teams in Cleveland's done. So should you feel bad about having a first round exit and you play the Knicks a lot closer than the Celtics are right now? I think there's things to feel really good about. Do you need to go make a splash this summer? I think you need to do something, but it doesn't have to be go and get Giannis and mortgage everything in the future in order to do it. I think you continue on the path that you're on, with just trying to work with the roster that you have and trusting the talent that's there. If you can get Giannis, you make the phone call and you see what it's going to take. But there are still some untouchables on this roster in terms of continuing that same trajectory.
I'm so glad that you said that. Obviously, there are players, young players here who, and there's some questions that I'm going to ask you a little bit later that we'll get more into detail. But there's some players here who I do believe have some star potential. And I want to know if the chat family as well, what players you guys think have some star potential on this team that are should be considered untouchable unless they assist in getting you a deal for one of these mega stars. Because you're right, man. If you can find a way to pair up Cade Cunningham, Giannis, and one of your young players right now, like an Asar or Jalen Duren, you really have to do that. You have to do that and see what you get because you already understand the type of player and the gravity that Giannis is going to attract. And you pair that with a person like Cade Cunningham, I don't know what a defense does. But I'm so glad that you levied that with the fact that this squad, they do have the ability to make just kind of strategic moves. They've put themselves in a driver's seat to do both. They have some promising young talent. They're getting their draft capital back after the draft. At the draft, do you understand how much more flexibility the Detroit Pistons get? They get so much more. And now they can start to wheel and deal and put together a big trade package if they so choose. But it feels like they've Trajan Langdon and Mike Blackstone and the rest of that front office, they put themselves in a position realistically to go either way. And that's because of what we've seen J.B. Bickerstaff do with this team. They supercharged things. Trajan Langdon was real about it. He was like, hey, they got us rethinking some things. This was at the trade. This was around All-Star break. They got us rethinking some things. If they came in with the idea of potentially flipping some vets, they didn't have those ideas at the trade deadline. They actually had the idea of going out and being buyers and acquiring another vet, which helped to underpin what we saw them do. And they battled, talking about these playoffs, Rod. It does. My perspective of the Detroit Pistons has gone up. It's improved positively that much more. Seeing what the New York Knicks have been as a team up against the Boston Celtics, someone that we thought is more formidable opponent than the Pistons. But we saw the Pistons continue to fight and continue to battle, and that does just kind of make me think a little bit. Maybe you see what you got here with the core of this team.
Yeah, and here's something to look at. The teams that finished them, Cleveland, Boston, the Knicks, Indiana, and Milwaukee. If Giannis leaves Milwaukee, let's say he goes to the West, Milwaukee's not better than the Pistons at any point after that. Indiana is still a very much rising team. The Knicks, we're seeing what they're doing. Boston would Tatum out this year, and they're going to have to pay the piper on their kind of high-priced contracts at some point. Can you see them dipping a little bit? Certainly next year, but maybe even beyond that, possibly. And then with Cleveland, they have the pieces in place and a lot of young pieces there. But you could see the Pistons being a top 3, top 4 team in the East in the next few years if they just kind of stand pat. Again, if you can go get Giannis and you're not mortgaging the whole farm for it, make the phone call, see what it's going to take. You have control of your draft picks again, so you're in a better position to make a deal like that. But you don't have to. Don't feel like you have to do a trade that isn't in your interest just to get Giannis. And then you got Giannis, Cade, and who else is the big question mark there.
Yeah, and that to me is where you're at right now. I do believe this team showed enough that they're a real player. And you look at the dysfunction in the Eastern Conference, like you talked about, Milwaukee could find themselves looking up at the Detroit Pistons in the Central for some time. This thing is setting up very, very favorably for the Pistons. And it's what led to our early optimism. When we saw the Pistons reach the play-in positioning, what did we start doing? We looked at team dysfunctions, all team dysfunction. We saw all of the different squads that we believe the Pistons are going to have an opportunity to get above. Why? Because in those locker rooms, there's less harmony. In those locker rooms, there's more trade news. In those locker rooms, there's some injuries that people are dealing with. We saw what happened with Orlando. We understand some of the trade news that has gone on and followed, even if it's just rumors, Trae Young. These things, we saw what happened with Philadelphia. all of these teams that were once projected to be ahead of the Detroit Pistons, they've turned into like dysfunctional teams, including the Miami Heat. I asked people before, we can hyper criticize Cade Cunningham and his, what you wanted to see from him in this playoff run. But would you trade that all-star for Tyler Herro? Absolutely not. And that, to me, is what makes me very comfortable about what the offseason could be for the Detroit Pistons. You don't have to do much to make this a win for them, but they do, and they have set themselves up in a position to be able to have more if they want it. So if you had any more thoughts, definitely, I'll give you that platform, and if not, I'm going to have JB throw up that graphic.
Let's go.
Throw it up there, man, because it's not officially Swish or Break until we see the graphic, man. Shout out Swish or Break. We get a little bit of music going, and shout out to our brother KG, who I know generally we have him read off the questions, but I got just a few here that I want to read off, and hopefully, KG, if you're watching from home, man, I'm hoping that you're participating. Get well soon. Our brother Flannel Sam, we miss you too, but let's get into this thing. I'm going to read off a question. I'm going to make a statement in support of the question. It doesn't matter if I actually agree with it or not. It's trying to find what the sensibility in the question or the statement is, and if we go around the room, we're gonna get answers from everybody, and we will read the chat, and then the legend Rod Beard will finish up. So the first one, Cade Cunningham is enough of a star that you don't need to make a splash. And we've talked about this several times on the show. You look at a player like a Nikola Jokic. That's a player who, different position, but very similar impacts on the game from a statistical standpoint. All year you heard only 2 players have the stat lines that these guys do, and it's been Nikola Jokic and Cade Cunningham. You put some players that have maybe borderline fringe all-star talent around him, and Cade Cunningham is the type of player who can get you the rest of the way. Meaning, you don't have to necessarily break the bank or gut your talent. He allows you to be that piece that you can surround with decent talent and get to the mountaintop. And you know what? I'm going to start with Cavassier Chase. Swish or break?
No, I'm going to say it's a swish. Not just because of I think just because of the injuries with Jaden Ivey. I think you're going to have him coming back. He's a part of this team already, and we didn't get to see what he was like for the whole second half of the season. So I think just having that whole unknown piece that was playing really well to start the season, I think is enough of a splash, in-house to just, at least test the waters, and then maybe come the trade deadline or All-Star break next season, maybe they try to make another move, a little bit bigger impact move to bring in somebody like how they did with Dennis Schroeder, at the deadline. So
I like that you brought up Ivy, and keep that name in your back pocket too, because we might have a question that has him involved. But JB Smooth, Swish or Brick for you, Cade Cunningham is Jokic-like. He's a guy that you can put some budget-friendly players around. Might not be your typical star, might not have the accolade of being an all-star, but it's a player that you can put around Cade Cunningham, and he can get them to the top.
I got to go with Brick on this one. I think you can put quality talent around Cade and still the team produce, but you still need that splash star as well too. I think a lot of pressure is put on Cade to be D1, the main guy, and I don't think he needs that right now. You don't know what you have in Ivy as of coming off this injury, so you're still looking to see that this upcoming season, but still at the same time you need another star around Cade to help. So it's a brick for me.
I'm seeing the people in the chat right now, and that dude Justin, I asked you the question as well. Cade Cunningham, is he big enough a star that you just have to put a similar cast as you see around Jokic? No all-stars, but some good role players around him. Is he big enough a star to do that, save you a little bit of money, and take this team to the mountaintop? Or do you got to make that splash? Swish or brick?
Brick. I think that if you need to bring in someone a little bit better than Jamal Murray to be his Robin, I think that Cade is phenomenal. I think he will be one of the best players in the league at one point in his career. I just don't think that he has that Jokic level of game control where he is consistently dictating the pace, the flow, and contributing on every single basket. And I don't think you need him to do that. I think if you do bring him a Robin and you let him be more efficient and not have to carry that weight, that it is a positive thing for him and allows him to play his best game.
Yep. And I'm looking at the chat here, Rob, before we come to you. A lot of bricks here. Grim, Eric Shaw, Skydog722, big brick. He put that in all caps, so I had to do it right. Grim says we still need that splash. Randall Smalls with a swish. Michael Wary, shout out Michael Wary with a swish as well. Jonathan Anton says brick. Weezy D313, you're saying what I believe all Pistons fans feel right now. I miss Ivy and Beef Stew so much. What up, though? What say ye, Rod Beard?
I think it's a brick also. He's good enough where you don't have to, but it will accelerate the rebuild and the putting them in the top 3 or 4 in the East if you do. Again, you don't mortgage the whole future because all of these guys can't sort of play at the same time. But you need some pieces there. And to really have an educated conversation on this, you need to tell me who that splash player would be and what you would be giving up to do it. And I can tell you that whether it makes sense or not. But yeah, is Cade good enough? Absolutely. But you'd be better if you give him a better all-star type player. We see what he was able to do when you brought in these veterans this year. So more talent is going to help. But an all-star level talent would be big for the tournament.
What up, though, JB?
I just had to ask this to Rod real quick. Sorry to hijack Swisher Brick, but I seen a trade the other day that was kind of outrageous. It was for Giannis, but it was trading away Ivy, Duran, Tobias, and 3 first-round picks for Giannis.
Because he ain't going to be cheap, and that is steep. Yeah,
see, thank you, Rod. Thank you.
That's a no for me, dog.
Thank you. See,
I can't do it. I can't. And I see Scott Dog said, Kool-Aid, stop it. Cade is not that good. Cade is really that good. He's a good player, but you guys got to understand, I've been one of the ones who's been saying, you got to get him a co-star for a while. But we do got some other questions to get through that might answer that question. I wonder how you guys feel. But I'm going to start with the role players first. If you could only sign one, because there's some rumors and some chatter that they might only be able to sign one depending on how negotiations get and how attractive they are in the free agent market. Which one would it be? Malik Beasley, Dennis Schroeder. I'm going to start with you, that dude, Justin.
Malik Beasley.
I
think you can't pay for the premium of elite three-point shooting. And I think that there are a lot of guys who are like Schroeder, who are around the league, who could be that backup point guard, be that backup facilitator, and have that offense going when Cade isn't in the game. I just think there's a lot more of those guys around the league than there is knockdown three-point shooters that can lead the league essentially in threes.
How much does the playoff performances weigh? Because we know this. Schroeder did show up in the playoffs to be actually a scorer in addition to a facilitator, whereas Beasley, some of the playoff narrative, a little bit of that followed him into the playoffs.
Yeah, I do like that point, and I see the validity of it, but I just think that as a whole, there's a lot of players and a lot of plays that you could look at to define why we lost that playoff series. Like one shot, like I was saying when you weren't in, which I don't know if you're going to like this one, but Cade hits 1-3 in game 6. We go to game 7 at the Garden, so I think that there's a lot more that we need than – there's a lot more value in Malik Beasley than there is for Dennis Schroeder.
I agree with what you're saying, especially because of the whole with the regular season to get to that precipice and then roll the dice with the people that got you there. I actually agree with that. But JB Smooth, what about you, man? Malik Beasley, Dennis Schroeder. You saw how this thing went in the regular season. You saw how things panned out in the playoffs. Where you landing with this thing?
I still got to side with Justin and Malik Beasley on this one as well, too. I know, finding that backup point guard is probably going to be a very hard task this offseason. And I like Schroeder, but I don't think you can find that energy you got from Beasley this whole entire season. I know the playoff wasn't a lot that you would have asked for, but still at the same time, he loves playing with Cade, with his team, and he just loves being in the city. You got to go off the vibe, and I think he's a guy who wants to be here.
This is way more split than I thought, Rod. Hold on. Cavassier Chase, what about you? Because I'm looking at the chat right now. What about you, brother? Malik Beasley, Dennis Schroeder, and how much does the playoffs weigh into your decisions?
About like how much they need to come back?
Which one? If you could only bring back one of those guys, which one would it be? Because they could become very popular on the free agent market.
I would say Malik Beasley. I mean, he was on the team for the whole season, and I think his contributions throughout the whole regular season, we got to see the larger sample size of. And although he didn't have his best shooting performance against the Knicks in that series, I think, I'm not going to let the small speak for the large. And if we're able to bring him back for a 1 or 2 year deal, I'd rather bring him back than Dennis Schroeder, because I mean, we could end up getting Dennis Schroeder again at the deadline next year. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm for the specialist. Malik Beasley is a specialist. But before we get your take on this one, Rod, I see you deliberating. The chat has been interesting here. Weezy through and 3 says, bring back Tim Hardaway Jr. B's got to go. Grim says, Hardaway? He wasn't even a part of this. There are people who don't want either one of them. How did this? What? Let me keep going here, man. Let me keep going. I'm seeing a lot of people who are saying Schroeder, Michael Wary, Randall Walls, Eric Shaw, Tommy K, Sky Dog. I really thought that this was going to be one that was like Kool-Aid. Come on, man. It's got to be Beasley. But there's a lot of people that are supporting with some Schroeder love in this chat. Weezy through and 3, Malik Beasley going to turn back into Malik Beasley. I'm good. I am more along the lines of like what 10 Lions are saying in the chat. Bees! But Rod, what say ye?
They are both valuable. If you can bring them both back, you bring them both back. If you make me choose, I will say Schroeder. Because defensively, you need that other guard to pair with Cade toward the end of games. And we saw the number of games that Schroeder finished the game in the backcourt. It's essential to have that other defensive piece. Yes, you will absolutely miss the three-point shooting. Yes, Malik Beasley will be missed for the swag and the everything else that he brings. But if you have teams who are coveting both and are going to write a blank check or give out a blank check, they will pay Malik Beasley more. It will be harder to keep him. If you can only keep one, the answer is true.
Damn. Kool-Aid is froze right now.
I didn't expect that one, boy. I didn't expect that one. I'm so serious. When I wrote this question, I thought it was going to be overwhelming love and support for Bees. But the way you broke it down was, I was like, I wonder if there's people, and that's why I continue to foreshadow. There are some rumors based on how popular some of these players could get in free agency that they might price themselves out of the Detroit Pistons, but both of them are proven to be pretty valuable to the Pistons' success this season. And obviously we know Malik Beasley for the full.
Somebody's going to offer Malik Beasley $18 or $20 million, and you can't pay that.
Oh. That's why it's a valid question. I'm so glad you broke it down the way you did. And you know what? There's something that we've seen, the teams that they take that next step here in Detroit is because of internal growth. We've seen players turn into stars. The Lions, multiple of those on offense and defense, and they're getting the bag. The Tigers, multiple players who are stepping into stardom that were homegrown. The Detroit Pistons, we knew what Cade Cunningham was, but for the next question, which of these two, if you need two of them to step towards that, which two do you believe are closest to or will ascend to star level? Jaden Ivey, Asar Thompson, Jalen Duren, Ron Holland. Start with you, that dude, Justin.
Say that question one more time.
Which two of these players do you believe are the closest to or will ascend to star level? Because internal growth has been integral to what all the other teams have done. And we know when you're picking that high in a draft, you look at Orlando Magic, they got a couple players out that draft that you could say are star level. When you look at the Houston Rockets, they got a couple players through the draft that you could say are star level. Which two of the Detroit Pistons players here do you believe are closest to or will ascend to? You got Jaden Ivey, Asar Thompson, Jalen Duren, Ron Holland.
Well, I think the closest would be Ivy because he's shown you the most offensively and that he can be that second option to an extent. You obviously want to see more for him to prove that he can be that, in the playoffs and down the stretch. But I think Ivy's the easiest choice. I think that I'm going to go with Asar Thompson. I think that he is right there at every other aspect of the game except for his shot. Even if he is able to develop a mid-range game like Sean Livingston did, like think about if he was able to do that and was able to become a Sean Livingston type of player, like that would be huge for this team. And he is more athletic than Sean Livingston was. And so I really think that he's close. And if he's able to develop any type of mid-range to outside game, the sky's the limit. He already has the defensive upside. He's athletic as hell. He's hard. He's gonna be a hard guard one day. When he really finds that handle, he's gonna be a hard guard. It's gonna be tough to stay in front of him. He's got those broad shoulders.
Shades of overtime elite.
Yeah, he's a tough guard, and I expect him just to continue to become more difficult to guard over the course of his career, and especially as he develops a jump shot. I think the sky's the limit, truly. I think he does have all-star potential. in his bag for sure.
Hey, what up, though, JB Smooth?
I mean, Kelvin Shepard already said Jalen Duren was the number 2 on this team. Rod, I don't know if you still got the sticky note. So, oh, yep, see, there it is.
I love Jalen
There it
Duren,
is right there. So, I got to go with Duren, and I got to go with Asar. These are the 2 that you need that are the next big stars to step up for this Pistons team. I've got to look around and make sure I don't say nothing bad about Jaden Ivey because Stick is right around here.
Around
so,
somewhere.
yeah, let me just get that out of the way, but those are my 2. So.
Goodness. Hey, there he goes.
See,
right
see,
behind
see,
you.
look.
There he goes.
Say his name and he
There he
appears.
goes. Right behind you, man. I think he heard you. I think he heard you say. I think he heard you.
What's going on? What do you say?
I think he heard you, JB. Listen, this is the question, Stick. Which 2 of these players do you believe are closest to being a star or will ascend there? Because they need internal growth. Ivy, Asar, Duren, or Ron Holland? What are your 2? Do you want to tell them the 2 you picked, JB Smooth?
I picked Duren and Asar.
It's not even Beetlejuice. You don't even have to say it 3 times. Just stick 1 time, and he just shows up.
What up, though, Stick?
I mean, the question should have been out of 3, who's the next star besides Ivy? Like that, I think that's the best way to ask the question.
what I said.
think that's a better question.
That's what Justice said.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said Ivy doesn't necessarily deserve to be in this
That's what I
conversation.
think. I can't love this guy anymore, right?
Oh, Cavassier. Who are your 2, man?
I'm gonna go with Asar. I think he kind of flashed it in the playoffs with like defensively and a little bit offensively as well. So I think him for sure. And then I'm gonna go with Duren as that second option as well, just because he was healthy all last year, so he doesn't have that extra hurdle to kind of deal with. As far as like overcoming like just overall development. As far as like in their like what would be the 4th year in the pros. So. Obviously he's got to get work on things in the offseason, but then battling back to get fully healthy and feel confident under his legs next year, I think is like whole separate issue. So the fact that Duren and Asar are end of the season healthy and are able to kind of just keep working towards the offseason, I think they're going to have a little bit of a head start compared to Ivy next year, and that's why I'm picking those 2.
Man, that's how disappointed Stick is. Stick is so disappointed, man, in the magic chair right now. But look, the chat. Randall Small says all of the above, but I'm seeing it. Eric Shaw, Asar Thompson, and Jaden Ivey. I'm seeing a lot of Asar love here. Mitten May says Asar. He doesn't even say anybody else. Tommy K Asar. Cube just says Ivy. ... Skydog. Ivy and Thompson. That's probably the closest pair I've seen, or the most common pair I've seen is Ivy and Asar Thompson in the chat. I'm not seeing a lot of love for Jalen Duren, which is interesting. But Rod Beard, what say ye?
In honor of our comrade, I will say Jalen Duren will be one of those. But I think it's Ivy, and it's a contract year.
Ivy and Duren?
Contract year, and I think both of those guys are playing for that next contract, and so you'll start to see that development. We saw Duren's big jump this year, and I think with Ivy you'll start to see that. And if you see it with Ivy, you may not miss either Schroeder or Malik Beasley quite as much. You'll kind of forget that one of those guys wouldn't be here if you get that contribution from Ivy.
Yeah, and I like that, man. You said Jalen Duren, Jaden Ivey, and once upon a time ago when we were doing this podcast about a year and a half ago, that's what we thought was going to be the triumvirate.
Yeah.
Was Cade, Ivy, and Duren. And that's where, when you look at – Stick is killing me over here, dog. I'm sorry. Stick is in this chair enjoying every – I'm trying to be serious. Dog, Rod, when you're in town again, we got to get you in this chair, bro.
Massage chair house.
Massage chair house.
Give him a hot leather neck shave. Let's go.
He said that he wants a hot leather neck shave.
You get it all here at Lady Jane's in Birmingham.
Let's rock, man. But look,
but Rod gets it. I mean, there is no wrong answer if you include Jaden Ivey, right? All three of those other guys could be the next deal. Duren's got to be able to hit a jump shot, man. If he could just get a 10-foot baseline jumper, like I need him to be 60% of what Antonio McDyess used to be shooting a jump shot.
They got him practicing.
If he added that, he would be the next guy. But without that, he's just a big dude that grabs boards. He's Andre Drummond.
In addition to that, probably some base kind of post moves. Sometimes where you can go and say, oh, Cat got his 4th foul early in the 3rd quarter, throw the ball down to Duren. We yelled that for 2 games in a row, and they never gave it to Duren. I'm like, you're not going to attack through him. He has some offensive chops. I know that he needs to become more refined, but I agree with that. Duren going in, because I guess the other part of that question is, what are those players that you believe can be stars? What do they need to do to get there? And that is one of the ones for me. I like a lot of things that he's doing. He's proven he can be that double-double guy for us, which was a question for both him and Stu for the majority of their careers until now. But can he take it up another step? We've seen him improve in the paint defensively, at the rim. But I agree with you, Stick. If he can find a way to become more dynamic of an offensive player, which we know what he worked on offseason, we saw him improve defensively. I think this is the offseason you want to see Duren really improve offensively, be more than just a rim roll type threat, because the Knicks worked to take that away from the Pistons, and where was it in the playoffs? They couldn't get into their normal offense.
DeAndre Jordan had a hell of a career, right? You wouldn't take that away from him. That's great. He's a great basketball player, but you want more from Duren. You need it on the offensive end. Sorry about the foot to the face. This thing's stretching
over
me.
Here looking like Iron Man,
stretching me out.
I think that a very comparable player to Jalen Duren is Bam Adebayo. I think that if he's able to get that jump shot down and add a couple post moves, I think we're looking at a guy who shows the framework to be a guy like Bam Adebayo, who can rebound, can play some good defense, and he has the athletic upside. You see it every time he's on the court. He is one of the most athletic guys out there. So I do think there's way more to be in the tank in terms of his development.
Yep, and you know what? Rod Beard, I'm going to let you definitely get the final thoughts here on just the Detroit Pistons. We got a big offseason ahead. It's going to be a big one for Trajan Langdon. And this is a draft. Finally a draft season where it didn't matter at all. It didn't matter at all. The only thing that mattered to me was seeing our guy Mike Curtis and his name up there for the Dallas Morning News as a representative. You know, it was cool to see that. NBA tweeted it out. And beyond that, I was like, man, bless Rod's heart. He don't got to sit up there and do all the draft simulators no more and see the Pistons continuously fall to number 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 over and over and over again. It's done. They find themselves in the land of the Lions, where the draft is just background music right now.
No, and it was even like that for the Hawks. And for the Hawks, it was just, hey, are they going to get the Sacramento's number 13 pick, which they did, but they weren't getting the number 1 pick out of it. So it was a chill. I don't remember the last chill draft night that I had where you just didn't have to worry about anything at all. It's a beautiful thing when it comes across, but yeah, certainly the Pistons are in a turnaround spot, and you can see them probably on somebody's top half of their power rankings for next year, which is just good to see. It's just different.
Yep, definitely. But thank you, Rod Beard, senior sports editor at the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Appreciate you always for making the time to be here and talk Detroit sports and continue to get not just the expertise, but the camaraderie amongst the brothers, man. So thank you, Rod, for everything.
Appreciate you, Rod.
Hey, thank you. And what friends you going to say what up, though, to JB Smooth?
We got to hear from Buddies and Dr. Pierce.
Oh, Buddies and Dr. Pierce? My bad. I don't know why I heard Les Stanford, but hey, you know what?
I thought I heard Les Stanford.
Buddy's Pizza for lunch.
Concentrate, Kool-Aid.
Sounds amazing. The original Detroit style pizza. You guys got to go ahead and get it. You already know. Download the Buddy Pizza mobile app first, though. You want to do that. Start working your way towards earning free pizza and taking advantage of any promotions, because who doesn't like pizza, especially when it's the best pizza? That is Buddy's. Now, before you get there, make sure you're using promo code 10mil so you can at least save 10% on your entire order while you are working up to those points. Buddy'sPizza.com.
And Dr. Pierce.
Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday on Big D Energy. He was there yesterday, and he had some pretty encouraging things to say about Casey Mize. The content is out. Go on ahead and make sure you guys get to Woodward Sports YouTube and socials to be able to see what he had to say about Casey Mize. Every Thursday, he's on Ermanni and Edwards, so he'll be on there tomorrow. But you want to trust the guy that DMAC trusts. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.
Tony. What's up, bro?
Same circus, different clowns.
For sure. You want the usual, the big zip?
You know me too well.
Throw a little something extra in there for your ma.
Oh,
Hope
man.
she's doing all right.
Ay, guy, sei un santo. You're a saint.
All right, buddy. We'll see you next time, okay?
Grazie.
Head to WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports. Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app online or in club and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. We got Tully, everybody. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Let me tell you about the White Claw Tour. Calling all Tigers fans, join us for the White Claw Tiger Watch Party Tour. Woodward Sports will be hitting 4 of the top bars in Detroit: McShane's Irish Pub, Nemo's Bar, Second Best, and Old Miami. Be a part of the fun and see our reactions live on Woodward Sports Network to one of the hottest teams in baseball. Join Spencer and Easy Friday, May 23rd for our first watch party at McShane's Irish Pub in Corktown. It's the White Claw Watch Party, brought to you by Easttown Distributors and Venn Johnson Law. And let me tell you about Les Stanford as well, because not after you go to the White Claw Tour, but at a different date, you should go buy a car at Les Stanford, because Les Stanford Buick and GMC has great offers for everyone. Get a 2025 Envision Preferred AWD, that's all-wheel drive, for only $259 per month, or try out the 2025 Sierra Double Cab Elevation for only $169 per month. Don't forget about the 2025 Hummer EV SUV for only $699 per month. Get to Les Stanford today and check out their massive inventory. Les Stanford Buick and GMC, that's lesstanford.com, or scan that QR code to my left.
And we are back. It is Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you, chat family, for kicking off the day with the Woo Crew Victory Show Day, Javy Baez Day, Javy Baez Love Day.
Hey, Javy time.
But you see the man up there on the screen today. He has an opportunity to send the Boston Red Sox out of Detroit with a below 500 record. I called for this before the series, which means they had to sweep. They've done everything they needed to do to hand this off to Terry Skubal, and I do believe he's going to show out today against the Boston Red Sox.
I would hate to be a Boston Red Sox today. That's all I'm saying. When you got this guy mowing the way that he's been mowing the last 6 games, I don't want to see him. And he has just been absolutely dominant. There is no other way to describe it. He is, after his first 2 starts to start the season, he has completely bounced back, has been, I think he is below 1.3 ERA in those starts. Absolutely
crazy,
insane. And when I was there on Friday in for his 12K outing, you could just tell how locked in he was. Every pitch, he just looked like a pit bull up there, wanting every inch, not wanting to give the batters any life. It's remarkable the way that he's able to go out there and control an entire game. And he had a no-hitter through, I think, 5 innings as well.
Oh, yeah.
He's pitching on another level right now. I mean, he's echoing his case for Cy Young as he did last year and screaming it from the rooftops with how well he's pitching right now.
Oh, I like that imagery there. And I don't think I have to go around the room just kind of audibly just – Tigers getting a sweep tonight, guys? Yeah.
Yes.
Sweet. Yeah, come on.
I never have a doubt when Scooble's on the mound.
Not at all, man. Chat family, go on ahead and just put what your final score prediction is. We already know it's going to be a dub. And let's get everybody what we know they love. That is what's trending with JB Smooth. It's time to spark up. We got everybody at the party, too. Yaloon, Jars, Mad Packs. It's a party.
It's a party.
And now it's time for the most electrifying segment on the internet. Bum, bum, bum. It's What's Trending with JB. Live on Wake Up Woodward.
Ladies and gentlemen, the immaculate JB Bickersmooth.
What's up, chat family? What's up, fellas? Like I said, I had something for you about, the Cavs from earlier today. Obviously, JB Bickerstaff should have been coach of the year, at least in our eyes. But, the Cavs got eliminated yesterday. So I wanted to play this for you guys before I dive into this. But, yeah.
A group text message was sent out to every single Cavalier player from Max Strus. Strus said simply, if you don't believe, then don't show up for work. Strus said this morning that he doesn't think this group is done.
Yeah, so that was a mass group text sent out by Max Strus, who last night went 0 for 9. So maybe he should have been the one sending this group text to himself because he's the only one that didn't show up last night. So,
shout out to Max Strus, man. Shout out to Max Strus. That's actually pretty funny. I'm so glad that you had that. There's, we wanted to see the Pistons be able to get past the New York Knicks and really accelerate and supercharge what we think they are. And I do think they obviously, you look at this season, you call it an A. But to be able to see how some of these other teams have fallen by the wayside, it is awesome to see right now, man. Shout out to Max Strus, Tyler Herro, and all of those people because the Pistons, I believe they're firmly past the Magic, firmly past the Heat, firmly past the Hawk. Next year, the expectation, top 4 seed or bust.
And shout out Kenny Atkinson, too, for building such an elite culture down there in Cleveland where a role player who shoots 0 for 9 from 3 has to come out and say, don't show up if you're not ready to work. The great culture you built down there. I couldn't imagine that JB Bickerstaff would have a player that would say that.
Wasn't that the complaint on Bickerstaff, that he was coaching them too hard?
Listen, Stick, I'm so glad you said that.
Maybe they needed some hard coaching. You would get your ass bounced again.
I've been saying this since it happened. I've been saying, look, even before I was even thinking JB Bickerstaff to the Pistons, I was like, Donovan Mitchell. That's the guy. Danny Ainge has been a person who's identified star talent in this league that you could build championships around. And you know what he said? You can't do it with this one, man. As soon as you heard all that discourse, when you hear a team saying he's coaching them too hard, that is a red flag to the star player. That's a clash between your head coach and your stars and your team leaders. That's the only way that stuff even gets out to the media.
And the coach never wins that argument. The coach is always replaced, not the player.
That's why seeing this vindication right now, it is so sweet for JB Bickerstaff because I know the Pistons made the right choice at head coach, man. Sheesh. Sweet vindication.
Max Strus out here thinking he's LeBron James and the captain of the team. No, you're not.
Show up, guys.
Just stop it. But
9.
Kool-Aid Stick, you are our resident parents here on the network for the show. I got to get your advice on this one. Is this dad ingenuity right here? The leaf blower
Yes, I'm gonna try
on the back of the car.
That's pretty sick.
I got to try this now. That is absolutely, man, 10 out of 10. I would even throw him a TG T-shirt.
I put a dog leash on Joey's wagon the other day because it was too hard to reach down low. And I just attached the dog leash to my belt and walked around with her. Loved it.
Hey, see,
loved it.
Dog, I love this type of stuff.
You got to start thinking out of the box. You got to start thinking out of the box here. And finally, I will end what's trending with this. Shout out to Planet Fitness. We love Planet Fitness, the best membership you can get right now. But Nike is introducing their new Nike Studios Fitness Clubs right now that they have going on out in Texas and California. Other places are popping up very, very soon. Do you guys have any idea how much a monthly membership costs at this Nike studio?
I don't know. It kind of looks like the 2K gyms too.
Yeah.
I got a good guess.
Justin, what do you think?
$49.99.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh.
$499.
$499?
100.
This
like a $199.
What's crazy is the weights weigh the same at Planet Fitness.
That is true.
The 50-pound weights is 50 pounds.
Talk about the best deal in all the gyms.
Tell me, you're going to blow my mind.
I mean, I don't know if it's blowing your mind, but this membership costs you $300 a month.
$300 a month?
This is $300 a month, everybody.
$300?
Yes.
Did they call it the sweatshop?
I mean, think about the markets they're in: Austin and
No.
California.
No,
like
I know.
Angeles,
I was thinking about the market, and that's why my guess was $100 because I was
Nike
going for the
sweatshop?
inflation. But I guess that's crazy. I'm not paying $300 to go to a gym.
Dude, they're missing out on a huge branding opportunity if they don't call their gyms the sweatshop.
What do they call this stuff, man?
It's the Nike Studios Fitness Club.
For $300 a month. That's the best.
More branding, Nike.
Wait, Nike Run Club is a free app you can download with all sorts of different training programs and stuff. So like they're also off. It's like the best free app you can download, honestly. Especially if you're like just trying to like get into like a little bit of cardio exercise. Like,
do you at least get all the classes and stuff with the membership?
I don't even think so. I think you just get the access to this gym.
There is a swoosh on the wall, Justin. Pay for it.
That's $300 by itself.
As the
It's melting.
As the so-called bougie representation of this network, this is an absolute miss. I couldn't see any sane person be able to want to spend the money on this. This is
But the weights look so
an
good.
utter
The
rip-off.
swoosh is melting.
But the swoosh, I know, I see it. The drippy swoosh in the back. It's worth all $300. I know.
If that doesn't motivate you, I'm sure there's tons of inspirational quotes on the wall. It's special. You pay
Oh
the
yeah,
$300.
I know that LeBron quote and LeBron mural. I'll just get on my knees right now for that. I mean, holy shit. That's exactly what I wanted.
There is no finish line, Justin. Read the fucking wall.
There's no finish line, just like there's no amount of money that you will get out of this without paying. Oh my god.
$300 a month, you guys.
Hey, put the camera on me real quick.
That's it for What's Trending. What's up, Kool-Aid?
Shout out Planet Fitness.
Shout out Planet Fitness.
$15 a
The
month.
weights weigh the
Staying
same.
loyal.
Shout out. The weights weigh the same.
They do.
Please,
Crazy.
we need a shirt like that. Woodward Sports logo, Planet Fitness logo, the weights weigh the same.
Yeah, that was their slogan. I thought that was the most brilliant slogan I've ever heard. Out of their trolling your fitness is essential because they shut down gyms during COVID. That was their trolling because they weren't an essential business. Well, now your fitness is essential.
I like
Fantastic.
that.
That's what I love.
They got some good marketers,
yeah,
man.
see? Own
Shout
it.
out to them.
Right.
That's it for What's
They
Trending,
clearly
you
have
guys.
smart marketers since they advertise here at Woodward Sports.
Factual.
You know what? That's the godfather of Woodward Sports right
And
there.
I've actually
He's
only
just
belonged
spitting
to
facts.
Planet Fitness in my life. That's the only gym other than my hockey gym that I used to work out at when I was growing up. But yeah, I've only actually ever belonged to a Planet Fitness. So that's how I feel about Planet Fitness Skydog. I love Planet Fitness.
Love it, man. Hey, that's what's trending today?
That's What's Trending. We still got a couple people we got to say what up to, though. Some sponsors.
Hey, let's do that.
Yeah, let's do it.
The massage chair and Mark White.
Oh, yeah.
You got that? You got the Mark White.
Yep, I got
think you
Mark
the
White.
massage chair.
I have it unless Stick's gonna do it from the chair.
I mean, I can do it. This thing is
Let's
doing
rock.
magic on
Tell
my
the
back
people,
right
man.
now. They got a location. I believe it's in Bloomfield. It's the largest massage chair showroom in Michigan, and they got hundreds of these bad boys. So you just walk in, you sit down, you take your turn. You just go chair to chair to chair till you find the one that touches you right, and then you buy it and you take it home. Look at those cool designs too. I like the two-tone white and black one, the all black if you want to be sleek with it and feel like Batman when you're sitting in here. Or you can
Now
do
you're
this one,
talking
the
my
Pharaoh
language.
Q, baby. The Pharaoh Q comes in gold, and my goodness, I don't do
like an
anything
esophagus.
else before I start my day besides coming here and sitting here for 20 minutes. I don't even care if a show's on. I'm doing this. So go do it. Scan above. Look at the great selection that they have. Even if you're like not trying to buy a house, you know how you go on Zillow to check things out. If you're not trying to buy a massage chair, just go check them out, and I guarantee you'll want to buy one. Just go do it. Massage chair house.
Hey, shout out
And Mark White.
Hey, and after they do you right, Mark White will always do you right. Mark White has you dreaming of a new home, but you're feeling that financial pinch. Mark White & Associate is your trusted real estate experts, and they are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That is right, $5,000. That's right. Call Mark White & Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesales.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true. Just like Javy Baez did last night.
Hey, shout out to Javy Baez. Shout out to those Tigers. Go out there and get that sweep. And the chat family has been absolutely on one. Do we have any super chats to clean up before we start to wrap things up?
No, I think we're good.
Hey, shout out to the people, man. It's been definitely epic just to be able to have the different takes on it, because I thought that you brought up a really, really good point earlier on the Tigers in terms of what they need to be at the trade deadline. This is going to be the most pivotal one in years, and well over a decade and a half for the Detroit Tigers, a decade. So I want to see them go out there and do whatever they have to punch their ticket to a World Series. And I know you came in on that fire of wanting to see the Detroit Tigers do something to ensure a World Series.
Oh, but we're too worried about, having to send guys like Wencel Perez down to the minors, because he's, some great shakes of a hitter. I'm serious. I'm sick of our fans, like, and we appreciate you, chat, like we really do. But I'm so sick of these love affairs with these players on our team who are just the below average MLB guys. I don't care.
73% of the people said that they believe the Tigers can win the World Series as currently constructed. We're gonna have to get that graphic out. So
they can, but they're more likely to if they add. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying they're not good enough to make it or not good enough to win it. But when you're there, you're going to need to be there, and you're going to need some guys who can win the game with one swing of the bat. And I just don't think we have enough.
Yeah, hey. I love the fire, man.
Jorge Soler is easily the number one option and will be the entire time until the trade deadline. I will be shouting that from the
rooftops.
rooftops.
Take that to socials, too.
I
want that. The trade deadline approach, strategy as it is approaching. I want to be able to ask the people on that. But I think that's a show. Shout out to our brothers Matt Broder, KG, Flannel Sam. We can't wait till we get you guys back.
Where the hell is KG? Flannel Sam today?
He said he needed a day.
Did he just get back Monday?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? We'll get the chest pass, and then we'll go right over to Stick in the and I don't know what this is. Are you Neo? Are you Professor X?
I mean, to me, this is the Maznito chair.
Maznito. I like that one.
I
like that. Hey, let's get that chest pass going.
Sorry about my nuts.
Hey, that's a dope chest pass. Stick, the Godfather of Woodward Sports in the building. What up, though, brother? That's a fire shirt. Hit the merch
man.
store.
Go get it. WoodwardSports.com. Click on shop. I figured I'd come all tigered out today. I see everybody else did. Justin got the 313, got the D. You got the old school 84 logo on.
I'm wearing a jacket from the marathon I ran.
Hell yeah. Chase is on brand.
I love that.
I just got the Buddha Kids shirt. That's all. Boodum Kids.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a timeless classic. I'm always ready to boo the Stafford children.
Shout out to Kavasi and Chase in the sound booth. What up, though, brother? Thank you for holding it down today.
Hey, what's going on? Hope you guys had a fun Wednesday. I look forward to the rest of the week. We got, hopefully a sweep. Good. The Tigers have been scrappy all week, and then we got Scooby on the mound today. So hopefully I can put out another great performance. And we got a Victory Thursday to talk about before the Tigers hit the road and head to Toronto. I think they're off tomorrow, but then they start the series in Toronto on Friday, start the weekend. So
BTA.
Yeah, let's go. Hope you guys have a good one. Hopefully KG's feeling better. And check out Fast and Loose if you guys want to tap into some NASCAR fun.
Hey, let's rock.
And shout out Dante151 for the $1.99 super chat. Chiefs vs. Cowboys Thanksgiving, CBS 4:30. That should be a very entertaining game to watch the Cowboys get dismantled.
You guys talked about the Lions favorite teams, right?
Yes, we did.
Yeah,
okay,
definitely did. They're gonna go up there and get that dub. What up, though, JB Smooth? Woodward Sports MVP in the TD booth, JB Smooth.
Hey, what's going on? Shout out to everyone tapping in with us today. KG, I hope you feel better.
Yes, sir.
New episode of Fast and Loose out right now. Myself and Chase. Go check it out. Isn't the schedule release, what is that, later today or tomorrow?
Later tonight.
Yeah, tonight. So, hey, look forward to that. Also look forward to the Tigers sweeping tonight as well, too. And probably the end of the East and West semifinals tonight. So, it is what it is. Shout out to my Warriors. You tried the best you could.
Get your win-loss predictions ready tonight, boys. The schedule's getting released.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait.
Way too early predictions.
We're going to have to get the personality shorts going.
Yeah, we are.
Do that, man.
Oh, no doubt.
Hey, that dude, Justin, you've been doing a great job the last few weeks. You always prove yourself worthy on the desk. It's good to see you have these opportunities. Shout out to you, man, and continue to tap in with Woodward Ringside, Fast and Loose, and Woodward Wings. You guys are crushing right now.
Yeah, it's been a blast, and we have some Woodward Wings news. Spenny will be joining the crew for full time now. It will be me, Flannel, and Spencer Raxter every Saturday morning for you guys. So we will have all the Red Wings talk that you will need to have, and we got to spice the episode because me and Spencer talked about a lot of different stuff. Well, Flannel was gone, and Flannel has some opinions on it, so we're probably going to get into some great arguments about it. So make sure you tune in Saturday morning. I'm usually in the chat talking to you guys at hanging out. Well,
Two highest watched episodes the last couple
Yes,
months.
sir.
I think this next one's going to be even right on par.
Yep, thank you for all the love. I appreciate it so much. I mean, over 2,500 views on both of our last two episodes. The support is insane, and we're putting up numbers. So, I mean, I appreciate all the love, and I appreciate all the opportunities I get up here. So thank you to Kool-Aid and Stick for believing in me up here.
Hey, thanks for believing in Woodward Sports, man, and sticking through it all. Shout out to our brother Flannel Sam as well. We missed you on the show. Vet of the squad, vet of the network. And it's your boy Brandon Dent, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network. Appreciate you guys for staying tapped. If you didn't get the opportunity to, go ahead and smash that like button and stay plugged with the rest of Woodward Sports, Big D Energy, Ermanni and Everest with Mass, and the Heavies. And you guys already know, keep glued to all of our socials because we're going to have our instant reactions to the Detroit Lions schedule release as soon as it goes live. So appreciate you guys. All love and blessings. Have a good one. We'll see you guys right back here tomorrow.
Baez in the bottom of the 11th for a second home run.